Good morning. I wasn't sure how to start this video. So this is a clip that I recorded of me last night. And yeah, let's start with that. Okay, so I made it. It's at the Argosy, downtown Atlanta. And I pulled into the parking lot and there was like cameras and people hanging out in the parking lot. So I felt really invasive, like I was like bothering them. And they all stared at me as I pulled through. So I was like, I really don't fit in. So I pulled around the building and now I'm parked over where there's construction. And they're still working, which is, well, I guess, yeah, it's almost 6. I'm like a half hour early for the mingle part. I just figured I should record this because this is something I always deal with. I've said before I have generalized anxiety. I have horrible social anxiety. And I calmed myself down to record this, but I still feel like I'm going to vomit. And I can't get out of the car. And it's really frustrating to feel this way because I know as you guys are watching this, and if I watch this back tomorrow or whatever, I'm going to be like, you're being silly, just go in. But if it were that easy, then anxiety wouldn't be a problem. It's a lot easier said than done. I don't know anybody here. I was going to go to see a speaker. And in the past, I have put myself out there and have felt so out of place the entire time and never met the person. And I'm just like, I really just want to go home. There's so many other things I could be doing. And it's really not easy for me. And I know it's so stupid to be fighting tears to just go in a frickin' building. But it's not just that, because I've never been here. So then you go in, and I'm assuming it's like a lounge bar thing. So I order a drink and try to find a table. But a lot of these places don't have many sit-down places. But with my hip issue, I can't stand for very long. So I'll be in physical pain. I'll be in emotional turmoil. And just standing in the building will have taken all of my self-confidence. So I'm not going to walk up to people. And I was feeling this way before I left, but I am able to push myself past my comfort. So what I usually do is I feel overwhelmed and then I take a nap and I use that to readjust. Sometimes mindfulness meditation helps. But that really only helps me when I am fighting off an anxiety attack. So like I ground myself and I feel more centered so that I don't freak out or like that I don't start crying. But I can't use mindfulness to get myself out of the car. It's funny. I think a lot of these people are actually lost too, because if People just keep driving around. It's not, I think it's free parking. I don't know. So, that was certainly a thing. Last night was very difficult for me. I sat in the car for 10 to 15 minutes, no exaggeration, because I texted a little bit, so I do have timestamps. I calmed myself down, recorded, started getting the feeling again, so I stopped and I sat there for more. So basically what had happened is every time I was able to calm myself down from having an actual panic attack and like heaving and stuff, and every time I calmed down and I tried to open the door, I started getting anxious and hyperventilating again. And usually I'm able to walk myself through things. So if I have that at a job interview or, you know, something like that, like a doctor's office, I'm able to tell myself, sorry, I'm signaling. I wonder if that's going to be super loud for you guys. It is a straight shot once I make this turn, but there's a guy, he's taking forever, so I'm going to go. Anyway, so, I usually tell myself, I walk myself through the process. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get, let's say, an annual physical. They know to expect me. I made an appointment. So I visualize, I walk in the door, I go to the desk, I say, I'm here for my appointment. And then from there, you just follow procedure, and I'm usually okay. You know, going food shopping, it's okay. You know, you've been to this place, you know, hey, you know, go to the right in this one or whatever. Like, I'm able to talk myself off the ledge, so to speak. I don't like that saying because of the implications, but you know, so I'm able to calm myself down, and I can compartmentalize my brain from the child who is freaking out and the adult who knows I have to do this. So I'm able to usually, like that, I walk through, I connect with myself and my center, and I'm able to convince myself to just try. But when there are certain things that I've never done before, there's no certainty, and if I've had a negative experience in the past, which is exactly what happened. I have gone to one of these things before, and it was not, I knew what to expect, sort of, because I knew the coach and I knew some of the other people, sort of, like, or whatever. It was for a voiceover thing. And we all met up in this room. There wasn't enough space for everybody. The people I sat next to refused to speak to me. It was just not a welcoming atmosphere. And the person who invited me was very welcoming, but he had to present. So it, you know, it wasn't like they were able to sit with me. He was one of the friggin' panelists. So, this was an open invite on LinkedIn. And when I looked on my thing, because I was trying to walk myself through it, so I looked at Argosy, I think that's what it was called. It's a restaurant, so there's bar seats, and then there were like 6 tables. And I'm like, yeah, other people are coming here to actually eat because it's a restaurant. So there's not going to be any seating. There was no back room that I could see from the pictures and stuff where it was like, oh yeah, you guys are meeting around back, because sometimes they do meet, another group meets at this pub, and everyone knows, hey, you know, it's like a standing Thursdays or whatever, you know, that like you can go and whatever, or at least it used to be that pre-COVID. But, and I've gone to that with Roxy Hero, and that was kind of fun. But I didn't talk to anybody, but I had, my guy with me. So I wasn't alone. So having all of those, and I couldn't find the event on LinkedIn where I originally signed up through, and that really freaked me out. I don't know anybody who's going. I wanted to try to meet one of the panelists, but it's for women in animation. It's more for like the artists and stuff. And like I would love to be like a creative writer, but I was going more to like become a producer in the industry. So, I feel like, yes, I can go to another one or something, but my experience with animation hasn't really happened yet. And I also wanted to do like voiceover. So it was just not necessarily, I was parallel, related to it. Obviously I do want to, be a producer, and so that does meet. But yeah, so it was just really, I was also coming off of, I really like the gaming website people. They are so open, and this is nothing against them, but I'm realizing I'm biting off more than I can chew by saying I'm going to write 2 articles a week, because that's going to take place of my own YouTube and, presence online, because I just got the paperwork this morning for the other internship, and they want me 10 hours a week. I'm working at this one about 12 hours plus any weekend hours. And I'm also trying to get a part-time job, which would be 20 hours. So then I'm basically, all over the place, driving, doing different projects. It's just going to be a lot, and I think I'm stretching myself thin. So I have the skeleton of the first article, and I think I'm gonna play out the rest of this week, write the article, but I think I might actually have to bow out of the gaming one. So having that concern on my plate and then going to that event was not good, because it affected me emotionally. Like you have to be your own pep, rally, whatever, what's it called? Cheerleader, So it was just a lot. It was just a lot. And then of course, driving home, you got to see, I was in stopped traffic. My car was overheating, so I had to blast the heat so that my car could cool off. And so it was burning my feet. And I was just like, I just want to be home. So obviously I got home safely. But today is a new day. I woke up, I feel refreshed, and I am excited for day 3, but really my first official day. I get to, see the studio, and actually hopefully get an assignment. And so it's just gonna be really fun to actually meet everybody. And then when I get home, I'm going to do the onboarding paperwork for Internship 2. I already sent over the NDA so that they could get my email stuff set up so that I can go ahead and get that started. Because I really do just want all of these to kind of start all at once. Some of them don't. I have to check and see, because the gaming one didn't say 90 days. And I don't know if this other one, so I'm gonna have to say, like, this is for 90 days, right? Because I might want to extend it and volunteer, but after 3 months, I'm an adult, it's time for me to get a job, you know what I mean? Like, so part-time work is fine, and it's, especially like that with what I'm doing, whatever, but yeah, it's not something I want to do. Giving 10 hours a week indefinitely is a lot. And, I believe in their mission, and I hope I have a lot of fun, but I will have to, in February, I will have to kind of readjust my schedule. So as long as they're okay with that, I will proceed with them. And I think those 2 internships are way more aligned with what I want to do as a career. The gaming thing I did start as like to grow my hobby of like being an online presence and like, streaming and stuff. So I think that's also why I go about it a little bit differently, because it's not something that I was anticipating for a career. So to me, it's more like a fun thing that I can do, you know what I mean? And it's not, you know, it's not fair to put that on them either, to be like, oh, well, this is lower priority out of all of the internships. I know I said before it wasn't, but to be honest, it is, you know. The film studio is 100%, because it's also local to Atlanta, like it's got my number one priority. Yeah, that's just how it is. So, but I am excited. And I also, oh yeah, I got a random interview, or it's a part-time thing. And I wrote to them, I'm like, I have an internship, so I don't know, you know, how that'll play out. Like, I don't know if that, whatever. And they're like, okay, well, yeah, just come to the interview. We'll talk about it then. So that's not until December. It's the first week of December, like the 4th or something like that. It's like, it's a Thursday, so I can have that time. So that'll be interesting to be like, how is this going to play out? Like that, it is also part-time. So I could just work like 2 8-hour days, you know, Thursday, Friday. And, you know, it's also has, it's part of, it's not my parish, but it's part of the, you know, my church family. So it would probably have weekend and like Wednesday evenings, you know, so I think it would be doable. We will see, because I'm also hoping this other one, you know, will work out. They are still kind of dragging their feet on it, which is okay for this first week, but I do need some movement on that, because gas is expensive. So I need to make sure I am breaking even on all of my endeavors, because I am all about that no debt life. I am lucky to not have any, and I want to keep it that way, except for the mortgage, I guess, you know, but that doesn't really count. Everyone's either paying rent or mortgage, right? So anyway, so I will go for now, because I'm going to start getting on some dangerous roads. Well, yeah, Atlanta's a very dangerous area, but so I will probably record when I get home. I might feel like recording once I get to a safer stretch on my way home. We will see. But I will definitely fill you guys in. So, yay, I'm excited. Hey, it's me again. So I am almost home. I had to take my contacts out. I was getting a little bit of a migraine towards the end. That's just because I'm awkward, so I didn't eat my lunch until I got in the car. And I stayed for an hour extra because you know how first days go, and so I was able to work on a project, but I only got it like 10 minutes before I was supposed to leave, so I stayed late to do that. It was fun. I'm always so impatient when it comes to technology. So that was the only gripe I had, was like, oh, why is exporting take so long? But it was really, really fun. So I don't want to, you know, obviously I can't talk specifics, but I was able to sit in on the final edits of the music video, and I edited some like a highlight reel that will be like on TikTok. So that was really fun. I've already learned some stuff. I got to meet, I believe I met everybody. There were like 3 or 4 other interns that were not there today. But the summer interns are still technically there. So, there's a little bit of an overlap, which is good because, you know, they can finish up projects and stuff. So I also learned the, end of year, you know, schedule for Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. Works out really well with what I already had lined up. So luckily there's no issue there. So yeah, overall really great day. It's funny, I did arrive, excuse me, I arrived super early because my directions say it can take anywhere between half an hour to an hour. It doesn't know. It totally depends on if there's an accident. So there was no accident, thank goodness. So I got there super early. And then Paige, I think I can say, the other intern showed up. And so like we were like the first ones there. They actually, I don't know where the others parked because there were no cars directly near us, but the 3 like staff members were already there. So but we got to go in and we got a tour. It looks all great. So it really is awesome to be back in that creative space. It's a smaller like office area than not necessarily that I was anticipating. They actually, because they have like a studio space, so they do have space for like filming. But like where our workstations are, that's a little bit more simplified than I was expecting. But they also, I think they did move because they have 2 locations like that. They're part of like an umbrella of a bigger thing. So I think this place is fairly new. So, it's still, things getting like adjusted and everything. So I have to get used to using a laptop again. I'm so used to editing on my desktop with, multiple monitors and all this, whatever. And so that was a little bit, but it's still really fun. I'm going to have a lot of fun, I think. Everybody there is, like that, you have that team mentality already, so it's great. It's very collaborative. So I've got high hopes. I am tired, so that person did something weird. So I am worried that I have to drop the gaming one. It's just to go home and like have to write that, I have to fill out my other stuff. So I feel like it's a lot. And then obviously trying to put on part-time work on top of everything, because like that, I'm going to probably have to work late some days, on this internship, which is just the nature of the beast. I'm used to doing that, and I don't mind doing that when you get stuck. Like that's how I work. So when I'm in a creative mentality, I'd rather just hunker down and work on it rather than like break it up, like obviously sometimes, things take multiple days to edit. But that's how I prefer to work anyway. So I don't really want to be beholden to other, same day things, so I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, like that, getting a job that pays, I'm gonna have to, leave and go there and everything. But I think I do need that little bit of a buffer, because like that, I gotta go home and feed the dogs and, doing domestic things before then I work on the whatever. And then of course I wanted to film more for tier 2 works, and it's a lot. And I know it sounds like I'm making excuses, but I'm trying to walk through it, because I feel disappointed. I don't want to be a failure and let people down, especially because like I just signed the paperwork and now I'm like, I don't know that I can do it. And like that, like this article isn't necessarily, it doesn't have a deadline, so I can take a few days on it. But the whole thing is they want, like that, at least 1 article, but 2 articles a week. And they're fun to write, but because they have to be, a little bit more professional than like my blog, whatever I feel like putting out, is whatever I feel like putting out. But for someone else, I do still have to research and make sure it's a strong article. And that does take time, and I am trying to do some of my own stuff, so yeah, I'm pretty settled on that I will have to cancel that. Which, if any of you guys at the gaming website watch this, I'm sorry for you hearing it here. I will, of course, will tell you I am going to finish this article. It's just the right thing to do. But I think I will turn it in and say I'm so sorry. I bit off more than I can chew. Literally, that's what it is. You never know what other internships you're going to be offered, and these other 2 have way more possibilities to be a career. And really, like this other one, like I'm like, should I even do this other one? But I think I will, because that one is virtual. They want 10 hours a week, but I can set my own schedule. What is going to happen is that I'm going to keep like a spreadsheet of my time, so I can prove that I did, work whatever. But if I have to work at 11 o'clock at night, that's okay, because like I have to. There's a 10-minute meeting once a week that I have to do. But other than that, there's it's on my time more, so it can be more flexible around job and around this other thing, that kind of thing. So especially in the interview, they're really lax. So it's just the paperwork that's saying, oh, you have to tell us what your schedule is. I'm like, it depends. But I think it's going to be okay. So that's kind of where I am mentally with it. Yeah, again, very exciting. So the Saturday shoot unfortunately got canceled. It has to be postponed. Unfortunately, there's going to be a recasting, and some of the other cast, they couldn't make it, so they're just rescheduling it. They want to see if they can do it in December, but with all of everybody's travel and everything, I don't know if that will happen. So we will see. But so the Sunday one is still happening, so that'll be fun. Unfortunately, our shirts didn't come in. They'll be in on Monday, so we were hoping that they would be in so that we could wear them, but that's okay. Just gives us something to look forward to next week. So yeah, overall success. I may not film Thursday and Friday because I really won't have anything to do with my internships. I'm hanging out with Roxy Hero on Thursday, tomorrow, and then I have to finish writing the article. I might just write it tomorrow. We'll see. I might not have energy tonight, but I might have time tomorrow to do it instead. But yeah, so then I'm just gonna be, working on other life stuff. So, yeah, so hopefully I will also be able, I was working on a video for Cyprus, this channel that you're watching, but I also have to kind of tweak the script a little bit more, and I don't know, at least like that, since it's just for me, it can be a little bit weird, and I can just go with it. We'll see, because then I have to edit everything too. So, but yeah, thanks for sticking with this and watching this. Yeah, nothing, because I don't want to talk specifics. I also think I probably won't put this internship or either of the internships publicly, on LinkedIn or whatever, until they're over. That way it just, again, it kind of protects them a little bit more, because if people find my information, it's not hidden, then, I don't want it to line up. So after the fact, I think it's a little bit easier, because, I don't know, it just seems like it's keeping them private, respects them a little bit more. So that's where I am with that. Yeah, I think that's it. So successful first week. Was weird because it kind of started off a little wonky, but that is okay. The drive is not terrible, but it's not great. I unfortunately do have to drive on the perimeter, which just has horrible traffic, but it's a pretty straight shot. There are two roads that I mostly stay on that are straight. So overall, it's not too dangerous. I don't have to keep merging and, getting off on all these different exits, that kind of stuff. The place itself is nice. It's set aside. So it's, safe area. So that's all good. Yeah, I think that was it. So I won't belabor this. And I guess I will see you guys on Monday when I post how my weekend went. I guess I will film for Sunday to see, my thoughts and stuff. But yeah, all right. See you guys later.